Most seniors over 60 are told the same thing. Vision naturally fades, night driving gets harder, reading glasses get stronger, and the solution is supposed to be stronger prescriptions or expensive eye drops. Yet so many seniors follow that advice, spend the money, and still feel like their clarity, confidence, and independence are slowly slipping away. So, in today's episode of the Senior Health Podcast, Japan's oldest physician is sharing the number one vision supporting nutrient seniors should be eating to protect their eyesight after 60. He's sitting right here with me. And doctor, before we begin, what should everyone expect from this conversation? Everyone should expect clarity today, John. We will explain why glasses, drops, and quick fixes often miss the real issue, how vision actually declines inside the eye, and then reveal the number one vision supporting nutrient that helps protect clarity, contrast, and long-term eye health. We will also talk about the everyday foods that quietly nourish the eyes from within, instead of just correcting symptoms. I'm eager to hear this. I was just reading reports from the National Eye Institute, an age-related vision study showing that seniors who regularly consumed specific eye-supportive nutrients had slower vision decline and better contrast sensitivity compared to those relying on corrective lenses alone. It makes you wonder how different aging could feel if seniors learned these principles earlier. John, most do not realize that vision changes begin silently long snorts before major blurriness or diagnosis appear. So before we go further, I want to understand where everyone is starting. If you have noticed more eye strain, difficulty reading, glare at night, or fading sharpness, just type 1 in the comments and stay with us, because what you are experiencing has a cause, and it can still be supported. Amazing, doctor. So let's begin. What is the number one vision insight every senior needs to hear? I'll share it shortly, John. But before we arrive there, we need to anchor this conversation the right way. Vision is not just about eyesight to me. It is the delicate wiring that keeps seniors connected to the world. I have spent decades watching how tiny changes in the eyes affect balance, confidence, and independence. And after 60, that visual system begins to weaken quietly, long before seniors are told anything is wrong. I hear that from seniors all the time, doctor. They assume their vision suddenly worsened when in reality it has been fading little by little for years. Exactly. And that is why pills alone so often disappoint them. The eyes lose protective nutrients every single day in the retina, the lens, and even the small vessels that feed vision far more than a basic supplement can replace. Vision must be supported and protected, not simply boosted, and it only holds when the body has very specific conditions in place. When those conditions slip, clarity fades, and strain becomes the new normal. It makes me wonder, doctor, if supplements are not enough. What is the body actually waiting for? It is waiting for one essential signal the eyes cannot function without one, almost no senior is ever clearly told about, and without it vision continues to decline no matter what they try. Then we have to talk about that. What is that missing piece? And how did so many people get led off course about protecting their vision in the first place? The confusion today comes from a belief so widespread it rarely gets questioned. Seniors are told that vision loss is simply inevitable, something that arrives with birthdays rather than biology. Yet right now, more than 2.2 billion people worldwide are living with some form of vision impairment, and studies show a large portion of that loss is considered preventable or delayable. What's striking is that nutrition is almost never part of that conversation. I see that constantly, doctor. Seniors assume failing eyesight is just time catching up with them, not something influenced by daily choices. Exactly. And when you look at the numbers, the shift is alarming. 50 years ago, severe age-related vision decline was far less common at this scale. Today, conditions like macular degeneration, cataracts, and chronic dry eye are rising faster than aging alone can explain. We've changed how we live, how we eat, and what we expose our eyes to. Yet food is rarely examined as part of the course. That comparison really puts things into perspective. It suggests something fundamental has changed beyond just lifespan. Yes, seniors today aren't lacking effort or concern. They're missing a critical biological signal the eyes depend on to maintain structure and function. Without it, the tissues of the eye weaken quietly over time, long before vision noticeably blurs. And once you understand that, the real reason so many supplements fail becomes clear. That makes me wonder, doctor, if modern seniors are missing that signal, what exactly is the eye waiting for now? And how does that single step help vision hold on longer? Key issue is that the eye is still waiting for one essential signal, the step that allows visual tissue to stabilize and function properly instead of slowly degrading over time. Once seniors understand this, vision loss stops feeling random or unavoidable. It starts to make biological sense. That really reframes it, doctor. Many seniors feel they've done everything they were told, yet their eyesight keeps slipping anyway. Exactly. Vision depends on delicate cells and structures that begin as fragile components easily damaged by light, oxidation, and daily strain. These parts have no staying power unless the body supplies the factor that helps them organize, protect themselves, and repair efficiently. Without that support, clarity fades, even when eye exams look normal. I'm glad you explained it that way. Seniors hear about glasses, pressure, and prescriptions, but rarely what must happen inside the eye to preserve strength in the first place. That's right. And what's remarkable is that this support isn't passive. It acts like a biological shield protecting retinal cells and visual pathways so they can withstand daily stress and age more slowly. Without it, damage builds quietly over time. We have strong evidence of this from the National Eye Institute's age-related eye disease studies, which followed thousands of older adults and found that those with higher intake of this protective vision nutrient preserved better contrast sensitivity, stronger night vision, and significantly slower visual decline even after accounting for genetics, light exposure, and screen use. That image really stays with me, doctor. It makes me wonder what that shield actually is and why seniors lose access to it as they age. How does that connect to the forces that wear vision down later in life? Let's start with what's happening beneath the surface. As that internal support fades with age, the cells of the retina lose their ability to stay organized and resilient even when nutrients are available. When that stability weakens, clarity, contrast, and visual endurance begin slipping much earlier than most people realize. I hear that sentiment often from seniors, doctor. They tell me their eyesight feels less steady, like it tires or blurs more easily than before. This really connects the dots. Exactly. And it's rarely just one factor. Over time, ongoing light exposure, screen use, and oxidative stress quietly tax the eyes while the body's repair systems slow down. Nothing dramatic happens all at once. The strain builds gradually, almost unnoticed. That subtlety is what surprises people. Vision tests may still look acceptable, yet everyday tasks start to feel harder, especially at dusk or in dim rooms. The eyes sense the change long before it's obvious on paper. Yes, and that realization is crucial because once seniors understand what's steadily eroding their visual strength, they can finally begin to defend it. And some of the most damaging influences are part of ordinary life, so familiar that no one thinks to question them. That gives me pause, doctor. If these pressures are so routine, I can't help but wonder what they are and how much they may already be affecting the vision of those listening right now. Yes, John. And what makes this so difficult is that these pressures on vision are almost silent. Light exposure, mental strain, and even the quality of the air seniors breathe can weaken retinal cells long before any warning signs appear. By the time blurriness or poor night vision shows up, that stress has often been building for many years. It's sobering to hear it framed that way. So many seniors tell themselves this is just part of aging when something much deeper has been eroding their eyesight all along. Exactly. That's why I encourage my patients to support their vision early, not only once problems appear. When their eyes' protective systems weaken, the body must work much harder to preserve clarity and contrast. And that only happens when one critical nutritional support is available. Most seniors simply are not getting enough of it. That explains so much. I think of older patients who follow every recommendation and still feel their vision slipping. And now it's clear why the usual strategies don't fully help when the foundation is missing. You're absolutely right, John, and this is where everything comes together. The eyes can slow age-related decline, but only when they receive the nutrients they are designed to retain. Those nutrients are lutein and zeaxanthin. They concentrate in the retina and macula, forming a protective filter that shields visual cells from damaging light and helps preserve clarity as seniors age. Lutein and zeaxanthin that catches my attention. I've heard the names before, but I never understood why they're always mentioned together. Do they actually work as a team inside the eye? They do. Lutein protects the broader retina, while zeaxanthin supports the center of vision. Together, they reduce oxidative stress, absorb harmful blue light, and stabilize the delicate structures that weaken with age. And we're not guessing. Large studies from the National Eye Institute and Harvard School of Public Health show that seniors with higher intake maintain better contrast sensitivity, stronger night vision, and a slower rate of visual decline, even after accounting for genetics and screen exposure. The difference is clear and consistent. That really feels like the missing piece, doctor. So many seniors assume vision loss is unavoidable, yet no one ever tells them the eyes are waiting for a specific kind of nourishment. Hearing that lutein actually lives in the retina changes how I think about prevention. How do seniors begin restoring what may have been missing for years? A thoughtful question, John. And the answer begins with something many seniors overlook: food that feeds the eyes directly. In Japan, we've long understood that certain whole foods act like quiet protectors for vision, especially later in life. When chosen well, they deliver lutein and zeaxanthin in forms the retina can actually absorb and hold. It's surprising how rarely food is mentioned when people talk about eyesight. Yes. And when seniors hear eye nutrition, they often think of pills or drops. But the strongest support comes from foods the eyes evolved to use. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, and these pigments travel straight to the macula where sharp vision is formed. That reframes things completely. It sounds like the eyes are selective, not desperate. Exactly. The retina actively pulls these nutrients in and holds onto them, almost like a reserve. Over time, they help filter damaging blue light and reduce oxidative stress that quietly erodes vision. Seniors who eat these foods regularly often notice less glare, steadier focus, and less eye fatigue by evening. I've heard that from patients who never expected food to make such a difference. And there's another important piece. Eggs matter here, not because they contain huge amounts of lutein, but because the natural fats in the yolk dramatically improve absorption. When greens and eggs are eaten together, the snort's body delivers far more lutein into the retina than either food alone. That makes it feel practical, not restrictive. Simple meals doing meaningful work. Yes, and that simplicity is what helps seniors stay consistent. A serving of greens most days, eggs a few times a week, and their eyes begin rebuilding their protective layer quietly. And once that layer is supported, another group of foods determines how well vision holds steady over the long run. That immediately raises my curiosity, doctor. If lutein builds the shield, what helps keep the eyes resilient as the years continue? Yes. And this is where many seniors are surprised. After lutein and zeaxanthin build that protective filter, the eyes still depend on healthy circulation to keep vision stable. That's where foods rich in omega-3 fats come in, especially DHA, which is a structural fat in the retina itself. Fatty fish like sardines, mackerel, and salmon supply DHA in a form the eyes readily use. That makes sense. If the retina is living tissue, it needs steady nourishment, not just protection. Exactly. DHA helps maintain the fluidity of retinal cell membranes, which supports sharper signal transmission from the eye to the brain. Seniors with adequate omega-3 intake consistently show slower progression of dry eyes and age-related visual decline in long-term studies. It's not about eating fish every day, but about making it a regular presence. I hear so many older adults complain that their eyes feel tired or dry long before their vision tests change. That's often the early sign. And there's one more group of foods that quietly protects vision by defending the tiny blood vessels in the eye. Deeply colored vegetables and berries, especially blueberries, purple sweet potatoes, and red cabbage, provide anthocyanins that strengthen capillaries and improve retinal blood flow. So, it's less about one miracle food and more about layers working together. Exactly. And once greens and eggs lay the foundation with lutein and zeaxanthin, the eyes still need something else to stay resilient over time. This is where fruits come in, especially berries. Certain berries supply compounds that protect the retina from oxidative stress and support night vision in a very direct way. That's interesting. Berries don't usually get mentioned in eye health conversations. They should. Goji berries, blueberries, and black currants are rich in anthocyanins, pigments that help the retina adapt to changes in light and improve blood flow to the visual cortex. In traditional Asian medicine, goji berries were eaten specifically to preserve eyesight with age, and modern research now shows they help reduce retinal fatigue and support contrast sensitivity. I've noticed seniors often say their vision struggles most at dusk or when driving at night. That's a classic sign. Anthocyanins help the eye regenerate visual pigments more efficiently, which is critical for low-light vision. Clears throat. A small daily serving, not a large amount, can make a meaningful difference over time because these compounds accumulate gradually in eye tissue. And you mentioned there was a third layer beyond fruits. Yes, and it's one people rarely connect to vision. Nuts and seeds provide the minerals and healthy fats that protect snorts, the optic nerve, and tiny blood vessels in the eye. Almonds, walnuts, and pistachios supply vitamin E, zinc, and omega fats that shield retinal cells from degeneration. So, they're not just heart healthy, they're eye protective too. Exactly. Vitamin E helps slow oxidative damage inside the retina, while zinc plays a role in transporting vitamin A to where it's needed for vision. A small handful a few times a week is enough. This isn't about snacking more. It's about choosing foods that quietly defend sight. What I'm hearing is that vision loss isn't about one missing pill. It's about years of missing support coming from different directions. That's the truth, John. When seniors combine leafy greens, eggs, berries, and the right nuts, they give their eyes protection, circulation, and structural support all at once. And once that system is in place, the eyes often hold steady far longer than people expect. That really shifts how I think about prevention. Doctor, if seniors start adding these foods now, how long does it usually take before the eyes begin responding in noticeable ways? It's an important question, John, and it's snorts one seniors often ask with a mix of hope and caution. The eyes don't change overnight, but they do respond sooner than many expect once the right nutrients are consistently present. Some seniors notice less eye fatigue or clearer contrast within a few weeks, especially in the evening or when reading. That's encouraging to hear. It sounds like the eyes give subtle signals before big changes appear. Exactly. Structural protection like slowing retinal aging happens quietly over months, while functional improvements like reduced dryness or better comfort often come first. What matters most is steady intake because lutein and its companions build up gradually in the retina, almost like reinforcing a fragile surface layer over time. So patience matters, but the body is already working in the background. Yes, and that's what gives me confidence. When seniors understand this timeline, they stop chasing quick fixes and start trusting the process. And once that foundation is set, there's another everyday habit that can either protect those gains or quietly undo them depending on how it's handled. Okay, so everyone stay with us for just 2 minutes more. The final habit, doctor. What is it? It is how seniors use their eyes each day, especially under modern light. Screens, harsh indoor lighting, and long hours of close focus quietly drain the very pigments we just talked about. Even the best foods struggle to protect vision if their eyes never get a chance to rest and reset, right? So many seniors spend evenings on tablets or phones thinking it's harmless, of course, and I never tell people to fear technology. I simply remind them that the eyes evolved for distance, daylight, and rhythm. Small changes like stepping outside in natural light, taking brief breaks from screens, and blinking with intention help preserve the lutein and zeaxanthin already in the retina instead of burning through them faster than food can replace. That feels doable. It's not about giving things up, but about using them more wisely. Exactly. The seniors who age with the clearest vision are not the ones chasing perfect routines. They are the ones who eat simply, protect their eyes gently, and repeat small habits with care. Over time, those choices become part of who they are, not something they force. That's a comforting way to think about it. It makes vision care feel human again, not clinical or overwhelming. So, let's end it here. To everyone still listening, you are amazing. Please like this video by pressing the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Oh, and watch this next video right now. Yes, please. We've picked this one especially for you.